Today we're going to talk about the number one misconfigured vulnerability in Active Directory, and that is administrative accounts that are not protected against delegation attacks. Why is this the number one misconfiguration in AD? The built-in administrator account, RID 500, is vulnerable out of the box. And here's a fun fact, right? Even if you stood up a new Active Directory environment today, it would still be vulnerable out of the box. This is a critical vulnerability because if the account can be impersonated, it can be game over. But did you know it's one of the easiest vulnerabilities to get rid of in your environment? Well, today I'm going to show you how you can use Guardian Protector to not only identify the misconfiguration, but we are going to show you how to protect administrator account and all other privileged admin accounts through the remediation of these accounts. So let's jump into Guardian Protector. So here I have a threat called privileged AD user not protected against delegation. So let's open up this threat in Guardian Protector now. So the first thing I want you to look at is when we look at the threat description, and that kind of gives us an overview of what's happening with this particular threat. And then also the remediation advice. So how do we go in and harden our environment? Here are all the objects that are associated with this particular vulnerability. So let's go in and pick on one of these accounts, and we'll start with RID 500. So let's open up Active Directory users and computer and go to the administrator account. So let's go under users. And here is the built-in administrator account. So what am I talking about from a remediation perspective? So if we go under the account tab, right, the one thing we want to go in is mark this account as sensitive and cannot be delegated on this particular account. And we'll go ahead and apply that. And you should do this for every privileged account that's not a service account in your environment. So what groups that you should focus on? Really, the built-in groups, anything that has an admin account value 1, but it should go one step further. You should look at what you all call custom privilege groups where you may have done AD delegation as well. So now let's go back into Guardian and see this change in our environment. So let's go to the change monitoring, and we can see that this particular value has been changed. So if we went in for this particular issue and we can see that the account is sensitive and cannot be delegated was set for no, and now we set that to yes. So that's basically all you need to do is follow Guardian Protector's detailed remediation advice, and you can immediately remove this risk that's a critical vulnerability in your environment with little effort. Thanks for tuning in.